No, we're not recording ourselves. Never mind. Quack. 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 12 and 0. I am your host, Adam Jameo.
And I'm Aaron Schroeder.
This is the Quack 12 podcast, the most official podcast, just in general. It's not about any specific subject today. It's about every subject,
Not
but
today,
a couple of
Junior.
subjects. Not today, Junior. Because today we're barely a sports podcast. We're just more of a kind of cosmic consciousness podcast. That'd be our genre right now.
Talking
Really
my love language.
Getting into the zeitgeist of everything, And for that, of course, we needed dear friend. Every time we've had this person on, our numbers have gone through the fucking roof. I'm not even joking. If you were to do like a top 10, probably half of them are with this person. So we expect a lot. And this episode, especially with this theme that we've got, will either break that streak, as in like everyone's not going to like it and just dunzo, 0 listeners, probably half the subscriptions that we had before, or it could double everything. Because this could be the
have
one
like
that really...
one subscription?
Yeah. You could have up to 3 subscriptions after this.
Bro.
Because we've got the one, the only, Gabey Lucas of the Dog Pound.
It is I. Hello.
It is you. Hello.
Wait, do my episodes actually do well? That is shocking.
I'm not joking. No, it's true. I think it's because it's usually like it's probably like a bunch of Duck fans want to listen to it, or early on, I think we got a bunch of Husky fans listening to it. Because
That's a good point.
We were shitty and like people... Do you ever listen to sports podcasts for teams like, a rival
Wait a
Pac-12?
second.
Yeah. So we got to set up the theme. You're right. We got to set up the theme. Thank you, Aaron. You're the ref.
Well, wait. But if you're about to say what you were going to say...
a rival sports
then it's
podcast
not related.
Because they're shitty and you just want to... Like USC,
No,
I listened to the Reign of Troy podcast, but only when they're really bad.
Sorry.
Because
okay.
You get what I mean? Because they're like the Trojans, and I don't like rooting
when
for
the team
Trojans.
is shitty. I thought you meant you like listening to shitty podcasts.
No, I don't. Only top-tier podcasts, but when the teams are shitty. Because then you get to hear fans just go off about like how bad they feel about their shitty team, and it's really fun sometimes.
I don't do that because I understand why people do, and I do something similar. I don't do that because time is finite, and the things that go into my ear holes are like that.
Wow.
There's only I barely listen to podcasts as is. There's like 3 of them that I will listen to when I'm like driving sometimes.
Quack 12, Joe Rogan.
Yeah, every dedicated listener.
Yeah.
Evangelical, some could say. It's either like that or like KNKX Midday Jazz.
Nice. Is that real?
What's that?
Nice. Is that real? You're listening to Jazz?
Really. I did
Nice.
the 2 things I listened to growing up were like on the radio, I should say, were jazz / blues, depending on if it was Friday, Saturday night, because they played KPLU growing up. They still do, but now they have a different call name, or like the Mariners.
Nice.
Or then on Sunday mornings when my mom and I would come home from church, my dad would usually be blasting Bob Dylan.
You grew up in the 60s, yes?
Yes, I did. Yes, famously.
Watching baseball.
incredibly
Sometimes I'd listen to the baseball game. Sometimes late at night on Fridays there'd be jazz music. No, we get it.
I'm
We
very
love it.
yeah. For someone who has been accused of being anti-American, I feel like I'm a very Americana ass.
You're
bitch.
actually the most American person that's ever existed, maybe. Now, this would be the
Except
time
for
in the
that church was Anglican, so
Oh,
traitor
well,
to
Oh,
the
our
people.
search
They call me
continues.
Benedict.
Okay, here we go.
Arnold.
This would be the point in most sports podcasts where it's like, okay, they've had their fun banter. They've got their, not on topic subject. And now we're going to get into because today the theme of this podcast is everything but the Huskies and the Ducks. We will not talk about those two teams. This is the last time we're going to mention them. Aaron, it's your job to be like ref of that.
yeah.
Got it? Okay, not
Now
like a
then,
Pac-12 ref.
do we
though.
allow pets
Like, actually
into
do
the
it.
conversation?
Like
As
if
in,
you
I
were-
have a pet duck.
I'm all of-
Is this something that we have to be
Yeah.
wary of? Is there a possibility of that occurring?
You pulling a Chandler Bing over there?
Today at Chandler Bada Bing. Everybody!
Oh boy! But we are not allowed to talk about those two things because this is a safe space for. Okay, Duck fans, I know you're feeling cocky about this. We're like 13-point favorites, but say we lose this game.
Wow.
Which, I mean, Washington's a 2. Like, they've lost 2 games. They got some great players. Penix is definitely very fun to watch. But
is this where we're getting out of our system first? Because our secondary.
Sorry. I just broke it. Shit. Okay,
if
but
when
Red flag.
whatever happens.
this is a safe. But we're not. Okay, it's not official yet. Okay, because I just want to say
We
this
haven't
is a
started.
place- No, we started. This is all going.
No, I know
into
we're
it.
recording, but
yeah.
we're recording, but that doesn't mean we've started.
Exactly. The game hasn't started. Thank you, Aaron.
Checkmate, Satan.
So this is a place for you to come and listen when you don't want to hear it. Because imagine, Duck fans, if we lose this game, you're going to be heartbroken. You're not going to want to hear about college football or sports very much even. So this is for you. This is for even Husky fans to come in, get our numbers up, and a chat with our dear friend. So that's it. Does anyone have anything else to say about these two teams that they just have to say?
Well, I will add that even though I don't listen to opposing fans' podcasts when they're doing bad, I do love scrolling through their like Twitter areas. Like last year when Oregon and UW went through a phase last year of just batshit insane Twitter circles. I never listened to them.
Oh yeah,
because
Oregon's
I
were pretty
value
nuts.
my brain cells. But I did really enjoy like seeing the Twitter fallout from Oregon's Twitter circle. Like at one point, didn't you have some like recruit's parent yelling at an alumni or something like that kind of like that? Absolutely. But that is not like a sit down plug-in.
Ex-players coming on and just talking shit and stirring stuff. And then there's also like Dan Lanning's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
His brother or brother-in-law.
Just dropping beans.
Kind of was just like, oh yeah, he's going to Oregon.
I think this doesn't count. We should be able to keep talking about this because this doesn't count as we're not talking about football or the game. We're talking about demographics of people who are lunatics.
Yeah, as long
as you can frame it in the context of it being about Twitter and the Twitter space, I will allow it.
You're the ref.
Can I say, have you guys seen the British comedy panel game show Taskmaster?
Yes.
I think I have. Yeah.
So Aaron, you know how in that show, like if you can defend your way out of being like, no, I didn't break the rules.
Correct.
It's just like, it's really just an exercise in competitive, like post-structuralism. And I think that will happen once or twice today. What?
I like it. Very, very. Yeah, that sounds great. We can just argue our way out.
So this isn't talking about Oregon, and this isn't talking about football. This is a sociological study.
Well, yeah, we're talking about a brother-in-law who this dude's probably like a general contractor.
That's all I know.
He has a roofing business and he owns a roofing business in many rental properties and calls himself a small business owner.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Twitter Spaces seem nuts. I've never enjoyed. I've like hopped into them for like 5 minutes.
Are you going to pay the $8 to get us a blue check mark, Adam?
Well,
I think we deserve one.
We are pretty official, aren't we?
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
Only $8 a month, and everyone will assume we're super official because we have it, and no
Correct.
one knows that they only cost $8 a month.
I don't think that's how that works anymore.
I don't know.
No,
it
yeah,
really
you
is
can-
the sneak.
I don't think anyone will think you're official. Considering
Yeah.
that yesterday, King James _D's nuts got
Nice.
suspended for that blue check mark.
Suspended. Come on, that's so funny.
Wait,
It's just
why
a
did he
classic
get
nut.
suspended for the blue check mark?
Oh, just because people like yesterday, people started, or yesterday or 2 days ago, people started buying blue check marks because apparently you can do that now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I only use it. I only use my own personal Twitter on like the web. I don't use that because I use the app for the UWDP Twitter. But like, so a bunch of people got suspended because they, had like 30 followers, bought a blue check mark, and then like one person who was quote unquote impersonating LeBron James, even though it was so clearly not LeBron James. But there's a few other people that
Oh, because LeBron James's Twitter handle is King James.
or I don't know what it is, but this guy,
Oh.
his name was like, I don't know, LeBron _420.
Hell yeah.
There's this funny comedian like Griffin Newman that I saw. Because like Elon Musk made it so you have to say parody. Like you're not allowed to pretend to be someone unless you
What a
say
loser.
parody
Such a loser.
afterwards. And then so this comedian changed his whole thing to look exactly like Elon Musk's Twitter
Right.
account, and he said, and he retweeted that. He said, just so you know, that last tweet was not real. I really want you all to impersonate whoever you want to. You don't have to write parody. And then he wrote like parody, and then Elon Musk suspended him.
I have enjoyed watching
Wow.
a bunch of comedians get suspended for impersonating quote unquote Elon Musk, because what a little piss baby bitch.
He really is.
You're such a
Quoted
loser.
Adam, piss baby
Piss baby
bitch.
bitch.
It's like, you're such a loser. Just do anything else with your life.
Well,
It's the loseriest behavior. The people who like Elon, which is also very bizarre behavior,
Mhm.
because it's like simping for like the hall monitor who thinks they're like a big deal. I don't know. I forgot what I was even gonna say because I'm just so confused.
Piss baby bitch.
Oh, right.
well, here's
now.
a question.
It's just, but they're like, oh, you guys are all triggered or whatever, and it's like, no, that none of this is that. It's just that this is the loseriest behavior in the world, and we're
right. Well, I think
Stop
I
it.
think he's the bro of bros. And tell me how we feel about this theory.
Mm-hmm.
I think he bought Twitter just so he could put it in Tesla cars without having to pay them a licensing fee or something.
No, you're giving him too much credit.
Yeah, I
He
think he
didn't.
did
He
it.
doesn't think he's just someone who. What it is like when a 14-year-old boy is being really annoying, and you're like, oh my god, can you stop being so annoying? And they're like, oh, ho, ho, I'm owning you, and it's like, no.
It felt like he just
You're
wanted to
right,
buy
it's
his
really
favorite
annoying.
toy.
But it's like
Like-
really annoying with gazillions of dollars to spare, and then thinking,
Time out. I just need to pause and applaud the fact that you straight up nailed what it is to be a 14-year-old boy. You
I mean, I can
absolutely just
imagine.
knocked it out of the park. A perfect
I
representation.
never
probably the-
know, but I can guess.
What's the most annoying age of boy? Is it 14?
Fucking
'Cause that
A,
does
14
seem
for
actually
sure.
pretty like
Ooh.
right on the dot.
That's
It's
a
like
good
I hate
question.
myself. I hate the world.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like at that.
I think probably about 14.
Hmm.
But then it depends, because
Do
there's
you have brothers?
no, I don't. That's the thing. I have.
Neither do I.
have my closest relative is my guy cousin, because we were born 6 weeks apart, and
Okay.
we were due on the same day, but I was 7 weeks early and he was 5 days late.
Was he shitty
Um,
when he was 14?
No, we got along. We were nemesis in my memory until we were about 5, and then his sister was born, and then we united around a common enemy. Of course, now she's way cooler than both of us and is my favorite.
That's funny.
Me and my two sisters, me and my younger sister definitely united. We were really close against my older sister at all times.
There we go.
Ah.
Like when she would babysit us, it would just be like terror for her. We would just
Sure,
never.
that's
Yeah, it was
brutal. I can
bad.
only imagine.
It was bad, yeah. I'll be
I
real.
mean-
But when I was younger, me and my older sister used to terrorize my younger sister.
Wow.
So
Wait,
it all evened out in a way, except
It seems
except for
like
it hasn't
what-
gone against you yet. You
It's never
ass.
gone
yeah,
against me.
exactly. I was about to say you seem to always be on the
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's true. I grew
the
up
aggressor.
in yeah, it was weird. I definitely in like a little like patriarchal family that was just very much like my dad wasn't around, and so it was a lot. And like I was someone who couldn't get pregnant, so that was kind of a pretty big plus, you know. And so there's just a lot of like, oh, Adam, the little golden boy, and we make fun of it now. It was pretty fucked up.
You know, now that I think
frankly.
about it, everyone I know, and that is 2 people who are from Southern Oregon,
Mhm.
had mostly not super present fathers.
No dads in Southern
No
Oregon.
dads.
I'm willing to
no
go
dads in Southern Oregon.
on the record with that.
Title.
I will stand by that.
Were you
no
from
dads
Medford
in
or
Southern
Grants
Oregon.
Pass? Where were you
I'm
from?
from
That
Medford,
one, Medford.
Oregon.
Okay. Other
Medford,
person is
Oregon.
Grants Pass. I'm not
Medford.
going to say who it is because they're a very
You
big part of
know.
my life and have been since I was 5.
Okay, so we're narrowing it down.
Oh, so
Someone from
it's
Grants
your
Pass.
younger cousin.
Yeah.
Boom! Got it.
Damn
Grants
it.
Pass sucked. Well, I couldn't really. I wouldn't want to grow up in Grants Pass, but I can't really talk to Grants
mean,
Pass.
this
Besides,
person
there's no
mostly
fathers. Yeah,
Ended up growing up later in Washington. So that's
I
fine.
thought Grants Pass
me
was
too.
supposed to be beautiful.
it is
Mm.
beautiful. A lot of these places are beautiful.
Yeah, Monroe, Washington is beautiful if you take out the town.
Yeah.
Is there a place called White Salmon?
Yeah, I know ish 2 people from there, and I think I'm the only one I know who has ever known people from White Salmon. It's across the river across from Hood River, and then right?
Is that in Oregon?
No, it's
There's
in
a-
Washington. It's on the border. of Oregon.
Oh,
So there's a white city in Oregon,
brother.
in Southern Oregon. I'm sure that you don't want to look into the history of that. Well, I'm sure you
I was gonna
can
say.
guess very much
There's
the
this-
history
Especially
of that one.
knowing the history of Oregon. Hmm.
Oh yeah,
There's like
like in that part of Oregon. That's like where they
Mhm.
first really got like the stronghold. So like
Wow.
yeah, named White City. Yeah.
Okay, look, as a Texan, I have
Mhm.
the unique opportunity to have a Washingtonian and an Oregonian in the same place
That
at the
is
same
really
time.
unique.
Is
That
this
is
like
So
the
I
start of a
have
joke?
to ask.
Yeah.
A priest, a rabbi,
Yeah. I
another
have-
person.
Yeah.
Was there a bias against the other growing up? Like, there seems to be a
Nah.
fairly, Portland, Seattle feud.
I wasn't in the
apparently.
sports, and so I didn't really have a bias. Because if you're not into sports when you're at that age, then why would you really care about like?
But it's not
Washington
like
or-
in schools you're getting taught Oregon history as being maybe a little bit better.
I
than
remember one
Washington.
time. Okay, I remember the one time there was a little. I was in jazz band. Okay, in high school, and we were like, yeah, we're a pretty good jazz band because we were we were a big city compared to the small ass cities
Compared to the
around
Grants
us.
Pass jazz bands.
And White City, yeah, compared to the White City jazz band. So we go up to Seattle, and we're like, okay, this is gonna be fun, and like we did.
Wait,
we did
Can I
pretty good
guess
set.
what
Time
happens
out.
next? Did you get your
Oh,
shit
yeah.
kicked in by Garfield's jazz band?
That's exactly.
Is
Yes.
it Garfield's? Because they have
It
a
was.
great
It was
theater- I think
specifically.
musical.
It was
theater.
specifically Garfield's, and the dude who
out.
looks
I
like
have-
I forget his name, but the dude who looks like James Earl Jones, honestly, who was their like band leader for like decades, comes
Fuck.
out, and they were directly after us.
I can't
And
say I know more than
it
that.
was
but
mind-boggling how
I
good
just
they.
know
It was
that
like,
Garfield had like
whew, they were just a
good
professional
arts
jazz band,
stuff.
basically. They
Adam.
just completely destroyed us. It was pretty fun though, like eye-opening. Like holy shit! Yeah,
We aren't that
where
good,
Quincy
are we?
Jones went, where Jimi Hendrix went, right? I believe.
Right.
Garfield.
yeah, I was
Kenny
gonna say
G.
yeah.
Kenny G. Sorry, how could I forget
The man.
the man
Uh,
himself?
I think White City's jazz band is probably actually just a ska band.
Yeah, I mean Southern Oregon's into that white boy reggae shit.
Hey, wait. If we're
Yeah.
hating on ska, then I'm out.
Hey, no, yeah.
If we're hating on the mighty mighty boss tones,
yeah, there
Bro.
you go.
to
It's
answer
the
your question
impression
though,
that
I
get.
feel like growing up there was somewhat of a cultural rivalry, but like not. It was mostly just joking about like especially because like now the rest of the country knows about the Northwest, but like I don't know, Adam, if you felt the same way. Growing up, it felt like literally nobody in the US could, if you were like, where's Portland or Seattle?
Yeah.
I feel like they'd be like, I don't know. And so it was just kind of we would just be like, ha, 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 like Oregon, Portland, blah, blah, blah. But like there was nothing of substance. And then other than
there
like,
was no
Oregon, UW.
There was no. Oh, those Oregonians are kind of like white trashier versions of us.
No, I don't think so.
Not really.
Okay.
But I feel like a lot of that though also is that our history of like is very tied together as far as like, so like when you're doing state history, like for as far as like white settlement, etc., like a lot of it comes down to the Oregon Trail and shit, and so it's like, in there.
Oh fuck, that's right.
Everyone, that's the thing we learn. Yeah.
So
we learn about the Alamo, about your damn state.
Yeah, no one cares about the Alamo except for everybody who doesn't learn about the Oregon Trail.
Yeah,
I mean,
except for that awesome win from the Mexican forces. Tactical, brilliant use in them, and I applaud them for that. But besides that, I don't.
We
give
were
a shit
used
about
as the
Alamo.
patsy. All right, we were used as the patsy by the American government to steal land.
Davy Crockett didn't do shit. He got owned. I just gotta say that.
Well, number one, he's from like Tennessee, so he can fuck right out.
He died at the Alamo. I saw the movie. I saw both movies.
He came down to help out.
Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah.
The president of the USA per the Love Actually canon. Did he die at the Alamo?
Yeah.
So let that serve as a warning.
That's true.
No one
yeah.
abuses their presidential power to make out with a 10 Downing Street staffer on their diplomatic trip to London and gets away with it without getting shot in Texas later.
That's a very good point.
Unless he didn't die in that movie.
You go to Texas.
No, they die. I saw the John Wayne one too, and in that one it's even more like America rules. And in that one, Davy Crockett, he gets shot like 20 times, but then he grabs a flaming torch and he shouts out a mighty, "Remember the Alamo!" Literally says it, and he runs into like a closet full of like gunpowder and like blows up a bunch of...
I don't know why, when you said he grabs a flaming thing, in my mind, you said a torch, right? In my mind, I pictured a trident, like a trident on fire. And then he runs, he says, "Remember the Alamo," runs at the Mexican forces and then pole vaults into them.
That'd be cool. And survives.
Well, I don't, there's no follow-up. It just kind of, I don't know why that's what happened in my brain. At no point did you describe
like
that
Aquaman
weapon.
You just made it more Hollywood. Like
sense for me to think of as being on fire.
Yeah.
Running towards the enemy.
Yeah. You're juicing it
anything
up
that would imply self-propelling into I don't know why my brain was just like, this is...
It's because the American education system taught you that happened, and it didn't.
Famously,
he didn't have a trident. He didn't pull over the wall, and he didn't even say "Remember the Alamo." I don't think.
The famously, the American education system taught us a lot about the Alamo, and they taught us that that's where pole vaulting was invented.
So Bo Nix, he's been doing pretty well throughout the season. Oh shit! That guy, just making sure that you weren't falling asleep there.
I think that Oregon should be deducted 1 point on the field.
Fuck. Okay, you keeping track of this, Aaron?
That's a red flag for bringing up the point.
We will cover the game as if we lost.
I mean, crap.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're allowed to curse. That's fine.
I do like the idea that that's where we draw the line. Is on the 24th minute of recording, no more swearing.
No more. Yeah, and now no more swearing. And that includes taking the Lord's name in vain, actually. We're being broadcast from Salt Lake City. No.
Amen.
You know what? So speaking of like how like Northwest felt real small for a while, I was watching the Weird Al music video for Smells Like Nirvana. And I always think about in that they have a line where he says like basically just that like Seattle is just known as like all we do out here is like raise cattle. And it's just kind of crazy to think because this is like, like riding the like pretty, the beginning still of grunge in Seattle. And so I still think it was just like the whole area just was thought of like, even Seattle, just like, not actually that big. That's what I took it as, right? If
Well,
you're talking about early 90s, like middle of the grunge
Not even.
era.
I mean, Smells Like Teen Spirit came out in what was it? Well, I guess it was.
91.
Was it 92?
Well, it Smells Like Nirvana. Let's see when that came out.
Yeah, that would have been
Yeah.
a couple years later, so like 95.
I mean, did y'all
92. Yeah, Smells Like Nirvana came out in 92 because Weird Al has his fingers on the
He's
pulse.
on it. That's true.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. Well, that's why it kind of annoys me, and this actually goes for like Oregon-based perceptions of by the rest of the country too. That like it annoys me that the way that this part of the country is portrayed is like these like super fancy like elites of whatever, and they're on tech, blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, you guys just discovered we exist. F off. Like,
Yeah.
You don't get to ignore a place for 150 years and then be like, get a load of these guys, these sanctimonious liberals, and it's like.
Look at how they all voted. Clearly, you could see, like,
the whole point that like the reason the Northwest was just like all weird, like that we had that reputation was because it was pragmatic creativity. It was like problem solving that for that you had to get creative to do, and like why would there's a reason why like so much of grunge was like logging kids like Kurt Cobain and all the guys from Aberdeen and shit. Like the idea that so it annoys me that and I think this happens with a lot of places, that areas become discovered by the people in a more well-known area, and then
Hollywood.
That area gets blown up, which is like I don't have anything wrong with people coming here, that's cool, whatever, but and then because of that newfound like fame and what's the like relevance, I suppose, then the rest of the country is like, get a load of these assholes, and it's like
yeah. We're
What?
just doing our own thing. Meanwhile, Texas still always even though they have many major cities, have many people still always have that reputation of being like, they're all rural cowboys running around there riding tumbleweeds.
When
Why
I was
is
a
that,
kid,
Aaron?
I remember going to New York and other kids asked me if I rode a horse to school.
My mom, when she went to the first time she left like this area, I think she was like 13 or 14, so late 60s ish, and maybe and she got asked that by some lady in New York or DC of like it was like, do you ride a covered wagon to school? And she's like, what the
Oh, because of the Oregon Trail. Hell,
or like or maybe a horse, I don't know. I feel like in my mind though, Texas, like if I think about, I've only been to San Antonio, speaking of the Alamo, but in my mind it's mostly I'd mostly just think of like giant, like sprawling suburban.
Did you see the Alamo when you went there?
Yes.
I walked by it. I mean, I like saw it
Nice.
many times because I walked by it a lot.
I
you
thought
pray?
you were going to say just
But I-
giant trucks.
Well, that too, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
no. Well, honestly, I feel like Washington is a fairly similar setup. Like the way that Eastern Washington looks,
yeah.
as far as like the kind of small towns and the mentality, that's a very Texas regular vibe.
Yeah.
I
We
guess.
gotta go to a
But
Pullman
then-
game one day.
Yeah,
With
I
me
mean,
and you,
our
buddy.
cities are huge, like Dallas and Houston are gargantuan places, and there the
Exactly.
suburb for real sprawls out for just fucking forever.
And that's what
Until
I
you
think
don't
of.
realize you're an hour away from the city, and then you're like, we're still inside town.
Yeah, that's primarily what it's like that, and then the smaller town, but yeah, that's like the
And then
first-
West Texas, there's like not a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
kind
there's
of
the Permian
empty over
Panthers. No,
The
there.
who?
Yeah.
The what?
Friday Night Lights.
Okay, I
Anybody?
thought so. I've actually just been watching that for the first time.
That's
Oh, really? Well, I
Yeah.
was talking about the movie. Permian is in Odessa, which is the movie,
I was
but
like
the
the Dylan Panthers.
TV shows.
What?
that I
Okay.
would say is more Central Texas.
Odessa?
But I would be, I don't know. I would say that I would call that Central Texas.
Isn't
Well-
Odessa like right on the border with New Mexico?
I don't believe so. Is it?
I thought it was very close to. If I'm right and you're wrong and you're the one from Texas.
Well, I could
Ooh.
be thinking of Midland, which is a big,
This is
it's kind of
exciting,
like a
folks.
lot of that stuff.
Well,
a
they're
lot
right
at
next to each
stakes
other.
here.
Yeah. Odessa's like slightly west of Midland.
Aaron
But that's like
holds
right
his
next to
Texas
the New Mexico
thumb.
border.
Is it?
Yeah.
You can see it
It's-
in his
Oh
eyes,
God,
he's
no,
worried.
that's Central Texas. Look at how far away it is from El Paso.
Yeah, but okay.
This is
So do we
riveting
know
stuff,
what
but Aaron,
Texas definition?
where
of
would
West
you
Texas?
move if you had to move back to Texas? So you have to choose one city.
Oh, I like this. Give us 3 options.
3 options.
Unless they're all in the same place, in which case don't give us 3 options.
Yeah.
Well, I went back to Austin to go hang out with some friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I was thinking that it would be fun to move back there, but after having been there for a week, I'm kind of like, it's just beginning its Seattle phase, and so I don't
Yeah.
want to do that again.
No joke, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm like I'm sitting there watching speaking of Elon Musk, move in. He has a 2-mile long factory on the east side of Austin. And I'm watching all these tech people move in, and I'm talking to my buddies being like, no, for real, y'all need to make sure they don't just straight up buy your local government because they're going to.
Yup.
And it was just like, you need to get a lid on this quick if y'all
Yeah.
can.
Mhm.
So I would probably, okay. I think I would move to, I actually would move to either Portland.
Is there Portland in Texas?
Portland in Texas? What?
Maine.
Wait, no,
No,
I
I'm
thought we
talking
were just talking
about
about
Texas.
Texas.
I'm saying in Texas, where'd you live?
Oh, God. No, I would never move back to Texas.
You have to, though.
I
Yeah,
have
we
to.
will shoot
Yeah.
a bazooka into your face unless
Yeah.
you move back
Okay,
to
if I
Texas.
have to, then I would move to El Paso. I would
Okay.
move to Austin then, I guess, if I had to. Or I would move to...
Wait, you would move to Portland, Maine? That was that was
Fuck
number
yeah.
1 for you? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Or
I mean,
Albany,
I've never
New
been there.
York. Honestly, where I want to fucking go, I would love to go into the deep northeast fucking snow-capped country.
I could
Because
I
then
could
when everything
with
is
that.
burning alive, you've got
Yeah.
beautiful weather year round, and you're super
Mm.
close to jump over to Nova Scotia and fucking end it all.
Although you have to go through New Brunswick first. But good part about that, you can stop for some chocolate milk on the way, which I wouldn't know anything about, except for I once played rugby with a girl from New Brunswick who said that chocolate milk everywhere else tastes worse because, and this is her words exactly,
Whoa.
in New Brunswick, chocolate milk tastes like it comes from chocolate cows. She couldn't
That's-
elaborate, and I believe her
Wow.
because she so couldn't find the words, and she was just like,
Huh.
I don't know how to describe it. It tastes like it comes from chocolate cows.
They should market that because that's actually
I know,
such a
right?
good line. Tastes like it
Speaking
comes
of-
from
okay.
chocolate cows.
Gabey, thank you so much for bringing this up. You've sparked my memory, which is something I've been meaning to tell Adam forever. Adam,
He's
I've
like, I
put
quit.
in the research. I've asked the proper
Uh-oh.
people. I've
When he does his own
swam
research,
the
this is
correct
bad.
channels.
Okay.
I have discovered that it is, in fact,
Oh no.
a Texas thing
Oh.
that pickles are sold at concession.
So that's why you're going on and on and on and on about it.
It really,
That's something you
like, to
grew
the
up
point
with.
where I was talking to somebody and they were miffed. It was their first time
Oh.
out of Texas. It was their first time out of Texas. They went to go see a movie with
I
friends.
just got off
and
the
we're like-
wagon.
Yeah, they went to a movie theater and we're like,
A movie theater.
"What do you mean you don't have pickles?"
Yeah. Okay.
I love that. So that's officially my new. I mean, I don't have that many things about Texas that I love, but I do have some things that I like, and that
Yeah.
is officially just shot up. That's the most wholesome Texas thing ever,
Wow.
which I feel like even the positive things about Texas, like the people describe like positively, aren't usually described as wholesome. That is genuinely wholesome.
Yeah.
And I also remember the first time, I assume this was the first time anyway, that you brought up pickles in movie theaters because I was on this.
Mhm.
And and Adam and I were both like, "What the
It's a
hell?"
historic moment. This has been
A
a
neutral,
huge
what
full
the hell,
circle.
like an intrigued, not a judgmental one.
Yeah.
Oh, this is full
No,
circle. For the
pickles and
lucky
cheese.
listeners, this is rare. But if there's one person even, who heard that episode years ago in
Yeah.
which Aaron first brought this up, and now for this, I mean, you're welcome. That's I guess I'll have to say. This is a full
Well,
circle
we
thing
had
here.
we had pickles going for a while because they are
You wouldn't
green.
shut the fuck up about them. I agree. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I like had them going or whatever. You just it was a bit that you've just like your bit that you hate. Justin
I don't think
Herbert.
I don't think it's a bit if it's sincere.
Yeah,
it's
I guess
just-
not. That's
Just
true.
he
Oh,
just really loves
yeah.
pickles and wants them to be available more frequently.
This is a nice update. Gabey, if you haven't been listening, I have decided this year that I despise Chip Kelly.
Yeah, he hates.
Oh yeah,
And
fair.
that-
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
UCLA is like the worst team in the world.
Second worst Kelly though, Kelly coach, because Brian Kelly
Brian
is
Kelly.
Satan incarnate.
Who's
And
Brian
he's-
Kelly?
He's coach of the LSU Tigers right
LSU
now.
Tigers.
He's super
me and
Southern now.
I am alert.
What's going on
He's
with
super
him?
Southern. He's
He's-
winning games. He
he's-
beat Bama. He sold his soul.
He's the biggest shithead in college football, as far as I'm concerned. He.
Does he have wild thoughts in press conferences or?
No,
No,
he
he's not that
I
guy.
mean, he's responsible for the death of a student assistant, although that was years ago, blah, 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 whatever. But he also is just like, he is the biggest asshole as far as blaming literally everybody,
Uh-huh.
all of his unpaid walk-on freshman kickers
Yeah.
to his whoever he hired, whatever. I've never once heard him be accountable. I've never once heard him be anything other than an asshole. And then like and then he comes down to LSU and pretends to have a Southern accent. It's like, you're from, what is he from, like Massachusetts?
Yeah, he's like the most
Massachusetts
East
or
Coast
something.
dude
He's
ever.
George.
like a Northern Catholic.
Yeah.
And just like, fuck off. Oh, and this, which was
Oh,
the
boy.
worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's pretty good.
Oh,
we're watching
boy.
the dance thing. Just
Is
so
that
y'all
the
know.
coach?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
him. That's the Kelly we're talking about.
He's from Massachusetts, yeah.
He could
This
be
dude
Chip
is
Kelly's
weird.
brother. Like he looks like Chip Kelly to me.
No.
I don't know if that's racist.
He looks like
but-
evil, like genuine, like evil Chip Kelly.
You know who that
Chip
is?
Kelly looks like Winnie the
Eviler.
Pooh.
He does.
You know who that
He
is?
does. Who?
That's a dude who just had his first grandkid. And this is literally
guess
what
you
he
call
thinks
it.
is cool for his grandkids.
I don't think he gives a fuck about his grandkids. I'll throw that out there.
Wow.
Brian Kelly doesn't give a shit about his grandkids, and dads don't exist in Southern Oregon.
Okay.
It's so painful.
You
It's
know,
so
I'm gonna
painful to
use-
watch him. I hate him so much.
Okay, I better. Get
I'm
rid of
going to
that.
use, follow my logic here. I'm going to use the changing accents to
Mhm.
transition subjects.
Okay.
And first, I just
Better
want to
not be
give
in
a
Oregon football.
nod, a runner's up nod to George W. Bush for converting his accent to a Southern accent when he moved
Oh,
to
did he
Texas.
not have it? Because where is he from
No.
again? I know he went to like.
They're
school
from
in-
Texas.
Maryland or Connecticut
Oh.
or something.
Well, he was born in Texas. His George H.W., I think Connecticut, went to Yale, then moved to Texas, and then and then George W. Bush's generation of Bushes, how do you say that? Are from Texas.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah,
but
because
Aaron's
his
calling
daughters
out.
went to UT, and I remember seeing them at a bar, and it was just like one of the weirder experiences because the whole city was at like a height of we hate this dude because he ruined this state as a governor, and now
Yeah.
he's gonna ruin the fucking country. Like he's an idiot, and what are we doing? And so there was like a whole squad of people around the daughters.
Yeah.
And it was just like it couldn't have been any fun for them to be at.
yeah, I bet. Damn.
But
you keep up with him?
no.
Okay.
But to transition,
Mhm.
what do we think about,
About George W. Bush?
no, about
Second
Nicole
favorite, no.
Kidman's like constant desire to change her accent for every role she plays?
Well, I think that's have you
She's
heard
an
of
actress,
acting?
darling.
But have you seen this? But It doesn't make any sense, right? Like she chose
She's
that
an
Russian
actress.
person.
She's an actress.
She wants to do that for
But-
role.
What do you think they do?
But
This was
He's
like,
like,
I
just
was
be
so
the
a
same
confused.
Russian
person.
accent for a TV show thing
The
where
Rock is your favorite actor, yes? That's my guess. That's what I'm
No.
guessing from this.
I would say Adam Sandler is probably my favorite
does
movie
different
maker.
Wait.
accents.
Let's keep Aaron on track here. I want to hear your
Yeah, let's hear it.
this Nicole Kidman take because I'm very confused.
It is a weird place to go, but let's hear
She
it.
had that. Well, I was just thinking about people who put on accents. And it was-
Actors.
For
Because this
their
one-
job.
Well, because it drove me nuts. Is it? She chose a Russian accent for a person who, throughout the entire show,
What
her
movie is this?
background, it is never, ever brought up that this person is Russian.
What show are you talking
What
about?
show
right
is
now?
this?
Nine
watching it
Perfect
while we're-
Strangers.
I think this is a fever dream.
I
Okay,
feel
well,
like this
first
is
off-
something he's watching while we're recording this.
Yeah, have y'all seen
And he's like,
I have it on Hulu right now.
I
it
think
says
what-
Russian
what
accent.
It's
most
called
likely
Nine
happened,
Perfect
like if
Strangers.
she just started doing a Russian accent, just like of her own accord, and the showrunner was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Well,
Like,
she's the
Nicole
executive
fucking Kidman.
producer on the
executive
show.
producer. I'm going to tell you something. That means nothing. That literally means nothing.
It means money.
It just means this
Yeah.
person. Yeah, it pretty much just means this person, or
Paid.
or it can not mean that necessarily. It doesn't necessarily mean they finance it. Like it could be, for example, say CW. Like when I was working in Portland, like we'd have a handful of executive producers listed on credits. One of them is like literally an executive at the studio who would come down from. LA
Wait, you have to
or New York.
backtrack. Now I'm intrigued because this is a part of your life you've never spoken about. What is this
thought we had talked
company
about
and
this.
what did you do?
CW,
Well, I worked
like
in
the
TV in Portland for a while.
You worked
Nice.
for the
That's-
CW?
Yeah, it was a terrible show. I hope they're not listening. The people.
What show?
You don't gotta tell us.
It
the
didn't
show,
get
I
a
guess.
second season. It literally no one watched it.
Not Gilmore Girls.
Oh, everyone
No,
watched
it wasn't
Gilmore.
Gilmore
Not
Girls,
Dawson's
famously
Creek.
shot in Portland.
You know how
no.
hard it'd be to get Gabey on this podcast if they had Gilmore Girls money?
Yeah,
You kidding me?
Well, it'd
Yeah,
be
if
even
I- if
easier
I had
because you'd
a-
have so much free time.
yeah. It famously production assistants make a shitload of money.
Yeah.
Oh,
this
were
is
you a
why-
PA? Okay.
Why,
So you're
how
a
I
PA.
like built up. Yeah, I didn't write for. Anyways,
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
There's
they
so many
brought on
jobs on a
20-year-old
TV show.
to write for. No, I'm not. I don't have Harvard connections.
You could have been a key grip.
I couldn't have been a key grip. I could have been a grip bitch.
Yeah.
But anyway, I haven't done that for a few years. But
Gabey, if you dream, you can become a key grip.
I do. Okay, no,
You
I
could
do
use a
remember
key.
there was one guy who I worked with who was also like equally low as me, and you know, most people like at a certain level of lowness either want to be like directors, producers, writers, whatever.
Totally.
And this one guy who was just like, nah, I just really want to be a grip. And then I remember, I like one of our, I don't remember who it was. It might have been one of our, I think it was our line producer or something, or maybe our key PA. But he was just like, hell, man, you're gonna go far because you actually want that, and
Yeah.
everyone else kind of like stumbles.
You're gonna get better at that specific
You-
thing
like,
that
the grip-
people need.
no,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're
that was
kind
my
of
favorite
responsible
thing.
for like set building, laying the wires out, and that kind of lighting and stuff.
Wires are electrical. Grip is like the
The
big
tape dude.
gaffer. I mean, yeah, the gaffer, grip, electric, kind of they all work together. But the when you see like those big rigs of like metal bars and
Yeah.
shit,
Nice.
that's like grip stuff.
You know what a best boy is?
Oh.
I don't.
Yeah. What's a best
boy?
boy?
it's
Credits.
just the best boy.
Oh, okay. Best boy on
No,
the
I
but
think
anyways,
they're
I
like an
get it.
assistant to all of technical, maybe.
yeah, that's pretty much. I never. Yeah.
How do they
And,
determine which one's the best one that'll get that job?
if he rolls over, they give him a belly rub, and he goes.
That
the
sounds
best
like
boy.
some
Okay.
shitty
know,
Hollywood
with a
stuff.
TV
Yeah, you
show-
gotta do a belly
Wait,
rub.
sorry.
With
To answer your question though about Nicole Kidman being an executive producer, and
Yeah,
doing nothing,
there we go. Yeah.
Really, what it just means is it can be an executive. It can be like a high-powered actor. Like whenever you see Tom Hanks as an executive producer,
Uh-huh.
I mean, it could be they gave money. It could just be like they attach their, they're just part of making it happen. Or
sometimes I think they do nothing, but it's like it'll behoove your movie to like have my name on it. So I'm
pretty much it can be that. That's why when people were like freaking out about like Alec Baldwin was a producer on the thing, so he knew all this. It's like that's literally not how any of this works.
The gun,
like that terrible death down in New Mexico. Like, yeah, granted, that like he shouldn't have been in that position, but that's because the studio hired people who weren't like they were cutting. First off, studios do terrible things to save money. Yeah, they hired like the arms person. I think she was like 24, had never been in this position and like was not qualified to be in that position. That's not her fault. Of course she's going to take the job because you need money and it's impossible to, it's like if you're below the line in that industry, it's really, really fucked. And you kind of, and they like, from what I remember reading, like they pretty much cut corners on every single, not every single, maybe every single, I don't know, but a crap load of safety things, and then give an actor. And the other thing is actors it is your job when you're in production. You're not allowed to pretty much talk to them about anything related to production because it's their job. Like when I was driving around, like some actors, I was required to take my walkie-talkie, and instead, usually I would like put it, if I'm driving, I just put it in like the cup holder so I can hear it and just out. But I was required to put headphones in, or at least a headphone in, because they're not allowed to hear, actors aren't allowed to hear what's going on set because, or on anything, because like, it's kind of like,
well, it's just two different worlds.
Well, it's kind of like with honestly, the way that athletes are, like, someone else comes and sprays water in them because their whole job is to do this thing on the field. So like, if pretty much the idea being like, we can't distract them from whatever, but then also it turns into this whole paradigm that gets taken, I think, to insane levels. So the idea that people were like, Alec Baldwin was a producer and Alec Baldwin was he like as the lead and a producer, like he should know. And it's like, that's not how any of that works. I guarantee you he had no idea.
Somebody's coming to kill you.
It's Alec Baldwin. He's pissed.
Maybe there's somebody in the house with you.
I knew we were going to end up on this subject. I knew it when we started that we were going to get up on that Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, and point being, this isn't me defending Alec Baldwin or anything. But like the understanding, I think that seeing how a lot of people reacted to that, just like on Twitter or whatever, was a huge not reassurance, but it was another reminder of like how people don't know how that industry works.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, I'm not saying I don't know if he's a good person or whatever. He shouldn't have, but it's a massive failure by the studio that happened. Anyways, and so point being, back to 15 minutes ago about Nicole Kidman
and her weird accent.
Her being an executive producer doesn't mean anything about the direction she was.
All I'm saying is that for the story, she could have been Australian and it would have worked because they never bring up Russia or her past.
Okay. But well, what's your favorite Nicole Kidman movie?
And she didn't choose to do a Russian accent, and then people were like, "No, that's not like that." There was consultation there. It wasn't
probably
a unilateral thing.
He probably wanted a Russian in the movie.
I don't know.
Aaron, what's your favorite Nicole Kidman movie?
I just can't buy it.
What's your favorite Nicole Kidman movie? Answer me right now.
What's my favorite Nicole Kidman movie?
You.
Oh.
Fuck.
Shit. We just watched it.
I liked Eyes Wide Shut. I just watched it recently.
Did you really?
I did. So there.
I don't have the time of day for that shit.
Fuck, Aaron. Okay. Well, I don't know. Anyways,
there's one where she's
I wanted to talk about The Exorcist
with Sandra Bullock.
Oh, with Sandra Bullock.
Practical Magic.
Practical Magic. I watched that a little while ago too. That was a pretty good one. I liked The Witches of not Witches of Eastwick. What's the one by Robert Zemeckis? Fuck.
I have to say,
broomsticks.
No.
Now that you guys are bringing it up, my brain is just static. Like I can't. I know I've seen plenty of her stuff. I cannot think of a single. I know. Yeah. I think I read the Wikipedia page for the hours yesterday.
Okay. You could say Far and Away.
Death Becomes Her was the witch movie I was thinking about. Does not have
witches though.
What's that one? Something Mountain. There's like
Brokeback.
No, not Brokeback. The one with Nicole. Something, I don't know. It was an Oscar. Apparently, none of us are actually that big of Nicole Kidman fans.
I just
that
don't
Batman
understand
movie.
why this is the thing that Aaron gets hung up on.
I don't
Well,
know.
because we brought up that
Actors
coach
do
doing
accents for
changing his
acting.
accent, and then it just made me think of that because I was like, yeah, that's such a weird thing that people do, and I was
Well,
like, oh, that one time,
I'm
He
gonna-
did it for his life to fit in with to try to
which is way more
ingratiate
dangerous.
himself
I'm
with
gonna
the
slightly
Southerners.
pivot. I want to force talk about The Exorcist because I love that movie. Aaron, have you seen The Exorcist?
Do you mean like the original one?
Yes.
No,
Is
the
there
other
remakes?
Not the. We don't want to talk about fucking remakes.
Is there
I
a re-
might have.
I heard the third one, Exorcist 3, supposedly is good. Actually, I heard that movie is good.
I didn't even know there was 2 of them.
It's the second one is I've heard not good. It has Linda Blair, who's the little girl in the first one, but in Exorcist 3, it's got Brad Dourif, aka the voice of Chucky, aka Wormtongue from in Lord of the Rings.
Ooh,
He plays like a
Who is
serial killer.
Wormtongue?
Yeah,
he's the
he
creepy
plays this-
guy who's like, "You will do
He's like,
what I want to the
"Yes."
king."
Yes, betray him like that. Whispering
Huh?
to the king. Well, you don't know, but he's Chucky. He's the voice of Chucky, and he plays the.
Oh.
So in the third Exorcist 3, he plays a serial killer who gets possessed by a demon, and then what's his fucking name? He's a very.
I thought for a
famous-
second you were going to say a doll, and I was like, well,
No, it's just Chucky again. George C. Scott is the priest that has to take him down. The George C. Scott, you guys.
Scott.
From he's in that
I-
movie Doctor Strangelove. He's one of the generals. Goofier
Need
general.
to remind myself what he looks like because my memory is very incompatible with Catholic priests.
He's fun.
No, just kidding. He
Oh.
can very much. Be
I heard
Catholic
Exorcist
priest.
3 is good. It has supposedly the scariest jump scare of all,
Huh.
time, they say. It's a great scene. I saw that one scene, but I never.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's all I gotta say.
So my story with The Exorcist, I have not watched it from start to finish, but there's a reason. It wasn't like, oh, I watched it, got too scared, turn it off.
Mhm.
But my first year at university, because I went to UBC, so I grew up like a third generation Washington, like Husky, but went up there.
What is a UVC?
UBC in Vancouver.
You got it.
University
Columbia.
of British Columbia?
Yeah. I bet you'll never guess. Yeah.
got it.
But so they film a lot of stuff up there. And on like this one night, me and 2 friends, we had heard that part of The Exorcist was filmed beneath in another our like twin residency or twin residence on a different part of campus. So we were like, I know. They filmed it in the basement of this, I think it was Haida or Danae house. And so we went, I say that as if that means anything to anyone listening to this.
No, we
I don't
know.
why I'm through that detail.
Now I can really picture it.
But so we went up there. We were like, I know. We will go sleep in the basement of this residence and watch The Exorcist. And we only had like a phone, so we started watching it on my friend's phone, and we brought like a pillow and a blanket, and it turned out to be very uncomfortable. But then we realized like 30 minutes into or 45 minutes into it or whatever that it wasn't The Exorcist that was filmed there. It was The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Oh, nice.
Amazing.
That's still a good spot to watch The Exorcist.
And so then we watched tried to torrent that
that makes
or
sense.
stream it illegally or whatever. I don't know. And we got through like 10 minutes of just absolute dog shit quality. And by that point, it was late enough and we were uncomfortable enough that we were like, all right, screw it. I guess we'll just sleep here without doing any of that on
That
the
is
floor
great.
with one blanket and one pillow. And it was the worst sleep I've ever. It was
You
so
didn't just
uncomfortable.
go back to your dorms?
No, because it was like a pretty long walk. It was,
I love that.
and then but like I barely slept, and then at like 6 a.m. we're like, well, I guess we'll just go back home.
That is really good. So
I've never
there's
finished it.
I've tried. It's really good. First of all, you should check it out. But I'm really, really into trying to find like immersive horror movie watching experiences like that. Like one thing is there's a Japanese horror movie called Dark Water. They made an American remake too. There's a very famous tub scene in that. Watch that in the tub. That's pretty cool. Or watch
This is an older
Jaws.
movie, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. Another one I did
From
this
like
one
early
that-
2000s.
I did this.
I
one
think
that
I've
was
seen
fun.
that.
Yeah, and I watched a movie in this format, basically like what we're looking at StreamYard. We watched
Oh
it.
yeah.
We watched a movie called Host, which is a movie shot like this. Like it's a seance movie, but it's all filmed like in their own things. And then I made everyone have their like images up, so it literally looked like we were in the movie. It was fun as hell. I highly recommended that.
That sounds really fun. But my issue is that I don't tend to enjoy.
Well, then you should not do that.
I appreciate, like, I really like appreciate like the really iconic ones, and I really want to like. Like even Alien, like it's not. No one would say that's a horror movie, and I love.
I would,
all of
but
like
people
but
tell
I
me I'm
never
wrong.
sat down and watched all of it because I'm just like I don't enjoy this feeling.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Meanwhile, I'm about to see a movie called Terrifier 2 tonight.
That sounds terrible.
Terrifier or
Terrifier 2.
I like Terrifier better.
Its big thing is that it's like insanely low budget. Like the first one costs like $35,000. This one costs $250,000, so it's like a really big upgrade, and it's made $10 million so far.
How much was the Blair Witch Project initially?
Oh, Blair Witch
like
is
36.
insane. Yeah, Blair Witch is something like that, and they got paid like
their
shit.
budget.
Yeah, their budget is so low, and I think even the creators got a little screwed, but definitely the actors got like. I think the actors walked away with like $1,500 or something.
I don't even know that they did anything afterwards, did they?
I looked it up. One of them is actually pretty like as far as acting, you know, as a job, like is actually very successful because they're popping up and things. One of them barely did like anything. Like the main one, the lady who's so good in it, honestly. She is in It's Always Sunny though. She's in one episode of It's Always Sunny. She plays like it's really early, but there's like a really shitty kid that they're like, oh Charlie, this is your kid.
She plays the mom.
She plays the mom. That's the
amazing.
Wait, the one where Charlie discovers the dumpster baby, or not the dumpster baby, but like he just discovers a baby somewhere. I don't remember.
No, it's the one where there's actually like an 8-year-old kid, and
I think
maybe that is. Maybe it is. I don't know.
No, I know what you're talking about. I'm mixing up Always Sunny episodes in my head.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of that one. So she plays the mom of the child that Charlie ends up like big brother adopting for 2 days.
I think that's like the biggest kind of role really that she's had since. So they all got really screwed over, just like a lot of famous horror movies. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I know they did like all those actors, their contracts said like, okay, you get a percent of how much this company makes from this movie. And then right when the movie just like came out around then, they're like, okay, that company folded. A new company owns that movie, but your contract said that.
Right.
So like they got fucked over too.
Yeah.
And in a way, that's what we're doing with you because we're getting your comedic talents, Gabey, for free, seemingly. You know, yet you never signed anything, so we don't owe you anything. Just keep at it. You can't we'll go to court. We have a lawyer actually.
Oh, but, I do too. I have one stashed away in the corner. You can't
Ours
see
was
it.
A bluff, so fuck.
No, definitely not. Definitely the fact that I'm not even in my own house right now definitely wouldn't imply that I also wouldn't have a lawyer.
Well, it's cool that you broke into a house.
It's not breaking into a house if you ask permission first.
I don't know. We didn't see
I mean, that other person just walked right in. It seems like an open door policy over there.
I think it's a squatting situation.
Clearly, you have a very... It makes sense why you need a lawyer, because you clearly have a very flimsy grasp of the law.
Yeah, absolutely.
Breaking and entering is when you knock on someone's door and ask, can I come in?
I don't know. If someone walks into my house, I consider it, whether they're invited or not, I consider it.
Hello, I've invited you all to my party today. I'm going to call the cops on you now.
Oh,
Texas
look at
style.
that.
At Gabey Not Gabby is where you can find our wonderful guest on Twitter. That is at GABEYNOTGABBY. You can find us. You know where you can find us at Quack 12 Podcast. Is there anything that you would like to promote our wonderful guest?
Oh, I feel like, well, for one, I feel like we just kind of like
We like to get a
Thank
quote.
you. I'm very happy for that to be my legacy.
Quote, piss baby bitch, quote.
I feel like we are ending so suddenly. Is this coming out during the game?
This coming out during the game. This is my master stroke. Yeah.
I ask to the people listening to this. Okay, so that is the 12th. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at my calendar. Yeah, people who are in Bellingham. I'm doing a show on the 10th. No, not the 10th. Today is the 10th. On the 21st at the Ranch Room. Oh, wait. Is that a location? I haven't plugged into my
pitch for a live show ever.
Well, because sometimes I write in my phone, I'll write the name of the show, which might be different than the venue, or I'll write the venue, which is different than the name of the show sometimes, and then I forget which one's which. Yeah, at the Ranch Room on the 21st. Produced by Nikki Kilpatrick, who's always awesome. You should go to her show. She has one at Stemma Brewing, and she has one at I can't. Oh, Aslan. No, that's another good show if you're in Bellingham. The Aslan Depot.
Hey,
which is produced by Travis Nelson and Chase Myers, and it's very good. And then on the 25th, which is the day between Thanksgiving and the Apple Cup, because the Apple Cup, praise be to Jesus, is on a Saturday, finally, for the first time in like a decade.
That's crazy.
But if you're in Seattle on the 25th, I'm opening for Kermit Apio at Hereafter, which is the like kind of theater venue-ish part of the Crocodile in Belltown. Kermit is...
It's a great space.
Nice.
Have you know it?
Of course.
Yeah. Kermit's really... Kermit's a UW guy, I think. Yeah. He's a UW guy.
I've seen his stuff on the Muppet Show a lot. I really liked him. I think he's a great host. Really good MC, actually, specifically. I like how he wiggles around when he goes, yay! Gabby Lucas, yay!
Yeah, no, he's super funny. He knew Mitch Hedberg before Mitch Hedberg was big. And he's like one of those people who's just been around and like anyone who became famous in the late 90s or early mid 2000s that has any connection to the Northwest ish or not even, he probably knew them back then. He's really funny. So I'm opening for him, and that's fun.
There you go. 21st at the Ranch Room, and the 25th live in Seattle at the Hereafter.
Last time he and I did a show together was in Wenatchee, and it was outside because it was the summer. And we drove up there, and I was hosting, and my friend who was producing it and opening for him fell asleep around Snoqualmie Pass. And we were, Kermit and I at the time were talking about hockey. And then he fell asleep until almost to Wenatchee. And then when he woke up, we had a full other conversations about many other things. And then we circled back to hockey, and my friend woke up and was just like, I've never seen somebody so concerned about like the attention span of two other people being stupid.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's the exact opposite of what we did here, and that's nice to know that you can be very specific about a sport too, instead of everything but the sports. Once again, nice talking to you, Aaron. Do you have any parting words here?
Yeah, I think they should just like 3D print green guns, and then that's what the actors use, and then they just CGI in the gun.
Well, I guess he solved
Wait, what
that.
are we talking about now?
This was the Alec. We've circled back to the Alec Baldwin Russ thing.
I thought you were still talking about Russian accents, but done by Australians.
I thought he was going to end on that one too. Actually, I'd like to say something too.
I would like shitty CGI guns, though. I actually think that would make everything a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, we don't.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Look at they're building a fucking Avatar whole world. Think about how easy it is to just like put a fucking gun in somebody's hands.
But I want it to be done by someone who like that's where I want the studios to really cut budgets though, or cut costs is like
on the creative.
And they all use CGI guns, but they pay those people very little, and they're very, very green on the job. So like they don't know how much money to ask for. They also don't really know how to do it. So they have to learn like how to do it, and they have 2 days to do it. One day. I don't know how long it takes to CGI.
No, there's actually someone online who does. If you ever watch Spider-Man with guns, he edits the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans with the shittiest CGI guns you've ever seen. This is exactly what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
This is a perfect place for actually creating a whole new marketplace, which is called gun skins. And so you can hire art studios just to make your guns in your movies have an extra creative thing about them.
Honestly, if you hire the people that took out the guns from E.T., with Steven Spielberg, when it went to DVD, they took out the guns and they were holding radios, and it looks like shit.
I haven't seen E.T. in quite a while.
There's a moment when they're escaping the the government thing, where two guys come out and they're holding guns because it's a government thing. They're not like aiming at E.T. They don't got it like point blank at his head or anything, but they are just holding guns. And Steven Spielberg was like, "This could ruin America. America could become gun crazy if I put this in E.T."
Imagine.
So he took it out and he put in the shittiest looking walkie-talkies. So if you get that guy and literally just take those, if he can take the guns out, he can put the guns in.
There we go.
Put the guns in places is what I'm
Well,
saying.
look. First, you've got an entire marketplace to make tons of money where you can just 3D print green guns of all shapes and sizes.
What? Because green screen is what he's saying. It took me a while too.
Okay.
So leave it to the Texan to be like, I'd like to end this episode on adding guns to things.
I think that could be the title.
If movies are going to have guns,
add guns to things.
If your movie's going to have guns, use these green silicone fucking fake guns that don't even work, so they can just be green screened in, and then you can have like a whole place where there's a whole place where like people make guns that look like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Well, hindsight's 2020, buddy. Okay.
Huh?
Well, I said hindsight's 2020, buddy. So this has been our episode on that movie Rust, I think it was called. I don't know. We got to end this thing, otherwise it can go on for 24 hours straight.
I would like a sequel though, because I feel like this conversation about Aaron not understanding how actresses.
Oh, no. You don't even know.
No.
He went on a big thing.
It has nothing to do with that.
You don't even fucking know. Our biggest argument was when he said my dream for Hollywood would be every 2 years, everyone in the Hollywood industry is uprooted and you're no longer allowed to be in it. And then we choose randoms throughout the country.
Based off your social security number.
Literally just randoms. And they come in and then they get to make movies.
Right.
And I was like,
and
that's
so
the
whenever you go to
Hollywood.
Hollywood, so when you go to Hollywood,
you get a bunch of different stories.
The federal government pays for you to go to Hollywood. Then you get an entry-level exam that basically
I will not allow you to have this platform again. I will not allow you to have this platform
again. It's a questionnaire. And you just say, well, I'm into these things. And they're like, you would be a badass grip.
I am very liberal. You know what I'm very liberal. So like, and that episode ended with me calling Aaron a commie, I do believe.
Well, I feel like the whole reason that wouldn't work, besides everything, is the amount of institutional knowledge that you would lose every time you took over.
But that's the beauty, is that everybody
the
can
movies
do it.
would immediately become like true shit. Like actually, you can't watch them.
The operation scale is so large, even on a not big thing. I don't know why I'm like arguing against this. I like seriously.
Gabey, you gotta think big picture here.
We have to stomp this idea out before it catches momentum.
I do. It would be
I
don't like
really
it.
quick
It
though.
would be-
I can say this really quick.
Nothing would
I
get
have an
done.
update actually to this, Adam. It's funny that you brought it up because
Jesus.
just last night I was talking to Uli about it, and the
that
update is this.
poor Uli having to hear this
the
night
update
after
is
night.
this. Fish
Insane
got my
rantings.
wish. It's TikTok.
Sure, go to TikTok. Do that.
TikTok is exactly the thing I was hoping for, which is that it is just people making nuggets of entertainment for
I'm
each
glad
other.
you've realized the
But
internet
it's
exists.
terrible.
Yeah.
TikTok
okay,
is amazing. I
No,
cry
it makes
laughing
the world a
about
worse
every
place, and it's
45
terrible
seconds
for our
on TikTok.
brains.
All right, we gotta.
I
we
love it.
need to have a sequel episode to
I need
this.
a sequel
it will
to this
happen.
because I
I
It's
get
insane.
the
It's
best
infuriating.
content. It's so
No.
good.
You're talking. Okay.
So our title is either Piss Baby Bitch or
Piss baby bitch
or
whatever
what was
Aaron
the guns
said.
one?
More guns. I love guns. I'm Aaron. Texas.
I'm really
shoot 'em
sad that
up,
we
something
forgot
like
that already because
listeners are such
your
rabid.
ideas are frightening. Your
Yeah.
title ideas you just proposed right there are horrifying.
Yeah,
context.
baby.
Real.
We'd be more popular in like certain part, like in White City. I think our numbers would go up. All right,
The
everybody.
White City Ska Band.
But I had a
mighty-
ska band. I had a ska band.
Mighty Whitey Boss Tones.
We were gonna
There it
for a
is.
minute. We were really thinking about trying to do this. That was good. Whitey Boston.
Thank you.
We were gonna be a ska band called Nirvana. We
Yeah.
were a ska version of Nirvana, and we
Not
had.
Nirvana Ska.
That's actually really good too.
You
That's-
didn't think of that?
We didn't get to that.
That
What
I mean,
about
I'm not
Nirvana?
that good at doing anything on the spot, and that came to me in a half a second.
Well, here will help us with this. Then.
Nirvana, even.
This
I want to be Ganjvana.
This is what we had a few titles. We had Vape Me.
Yep.
That's a good one. Come Rastafar. We had The Man Who Sold the Weed.
Yep.
And then I think it smells like weed. We couldn't think of that. That one we
Well,
really ran
you
out of.
clearly have a good grip on directions to take it.
Yeah, I mean, but Vape Me, that's pretty good. We were happy with that one.
I feel like the other you got a little bit into the
We got pretty
reggae
bad.
area
Yeah.
there, which
Come Rastafar, I don't think anyone's gonna do better than that. Come as you are, come
Yeah.
Rastafar.
Come
I defy you to do better
Rastafar,
than that one.
Rastafy.
I'm gonna come up with one better because although I could go on
Well,
a
not before you
long
end this
beloved
podcast.
tangent about the proliferation of reggae into being incorporated into punk and then later evolving, having its cousin evolution into ska. Much of
Watches one Bob Marley documentary.
I lost.
no, I don't really know that much about reggae after the 1982. And I don't know that much about it other outside of like the realm of its incorporation with punk and like the London late 70s punk.
Sure.
As far as like particularly with the Clash, they especially in their like 78 album and also London Calling, Give 'Em Enough Rope especially though was like they worked a lot with like Ranking Roger and although I think Ranking Roger came on after, but anyways they had quite a bit of like Jamaican and Caribbean British influence and they worked a lot with
next
a
episode
lot of those artists.
We'll open
And
on
that's-
just a discussion of
The more you know.
first wave, second wave, third wave ska. We'll do it all.
Hey.
We'll pick it up from there.
Any actual like ska. I couldn't tell you anything about.
Couldn't tell you about it. I could tell you the Mighty Mighty Bosstones are in Clueless.
I could tell you where it starts.
Yeah.
Or the proto. I could tell you the proto thing, which I just kind of did.
Well, I can tell you where this
Did you
episode
ever get
ends, and
into
it's right
Voodoo
here.
Glow
Yeah,
Skull?
I like that you wanted to end 15 minutes ago, and then Aaron and I have totally screwed you over.
Oh, it's been insane. Well, once Aaron brought up, no, okay, I'm hitting the stop button. Everybody, Aquactual Podcast, at Gabey, not Gabby. Bye.